Welcome into Coach's Corner. I'm Jordan Woodruff. Great to have you along here with our weekly episodes. And today we're joined by cheer coach Amie Huster. Good to have you along.
Good morning.
Yeah, and you're in your second full year now, right?
I am about to be start third.
So are you? What have you learned? What have you gotten better at in those years?
Paperwork. Paperwork is now a lot less stressful than it was the first year.
Wow. So what paperwork is involved when you're a cheer coach?
Budgets, creating a PO and making sure the PO gets approved before you order everything, and then tax exempt and whatever else life throws at you. You have to jump through hurdles.
And then fundraising on top of that, trying to do all that part of it too, because that's a big part of things.
Yes. And then making sure all the money's collected, the receipts are turned in. You do everything right.
Yeah. Well, one thing I think that's really cool is you're from Ponca City originally. So
Yes.
it has to be really cool that you're the cheer coach, where you also were a big part of that program at one time, right?
I was. I graduated in 2001. So for me to come back and be able to cheer for something that I used to do under Cheryl Kincaid and Lanita, it was a big deal, and I'm super excited to get to do it. Get the opportunity to.
Well, and with cheer right now, you have the winter sports that are kind of winding down. You have a lot of girls that are out there supporting those. It kind of changes a little bit in the spring, but it kind of leads into a big part, which is the tryouts, which are coming up, right?
Yes. They are coming up. Our parent meeting is next Tuesday at 6 p.m. at the upper level of the Commons. And then tryout clinic actually starts Monday the 28th at our cheerleading gym. It's at 6:30 in the morning until 7:40 a.m.
Yeah.
And then actual tryouts is March 6th at the Robinson, and it's closed.
So it's an interesting process because you have different steps, I guess, for everybody to get involved. So somebody that is wanting to get involved, very important, I guess, that parents meeting and then just take each step, correct?
Yes, the parent meeting is informational for the cheerleader and the parent both have to come because that gives them a breakdown of all the different events that we will do, the timeline for cheerleading tryouts, the packets that you need to fill out, all the parent forms, all the things you have to sign. So that is very mandatory that you come to that on Tuesday.
And with that, you have current girls that are part of the squad. You have current people part of the squad. You have maybe younger ones that are coming up wanting to be a part. Mm-hmm. But you also have the seniors. Are they part of the tryouts in any way?
They are. My seniors, I have 3 seniors. I have Emma, Ricky, and Ashley. So they will do the cheer. They made up a cheer for the girls, and they will all learn that. They teach that. They teach the fight song. That is our dance. And they're a big part of it. Yeah. They've been a part of the program forever, and so I think I only had one new senior, and that was Ashley, but the other girls have been part of the program forever.
Well, I remember when I was in school, we had a small school, so the cheer, it wasn't as strenuous as maybe it is for some of the bigger schools. But when I got to college, I remember seeing the Oklahoma State cheerleaders, and they were getting as hurt as much as the athletes. They were throwing up in the air, they were flying, all that. These girls, I like to always say, they're athletes too.
Oh, absolutely. They get hurt, they get injured. They have a strength training program that they have to follow. That was actually today. We did that today. But they have strength training. Their academics goes into play. They're an all-around athlete, and they should be treated as an athlete as well.
Well, and unlike some athletes, the other thing, when they're out there doing their thing, they always have to have a smile on their face.
Yeah.
So, you have to have a smile because that's your job. You're supposed to be the spirit of the energy that's out there to help get the crowd going.
Yeah, the cheerleaders make a big difference in the crowd control. They help crowd control. People don't know that. So with their upbeat, positive energy, they help lead the team and lead the crowd from doing naughty things that we're known for, like yelling at people. So we try to control that as much as possible.
Well, I just want a few questions to ask, and just because it's interesting for me from the sports side of things, necessarily I don't get to talk to the cheer coach as much. So what's something you feel like is important for maybe people that are there to understand about your cheer program?
I want them to know that they work hard academically as well, at school as well as on the sidelines. They have to come to practice every day, positivity is a huge thing that we have to work around because sometimes, who doesn't want to wake up at early in the morning? Who wants to sleep in? Everybody, me including. But showing a positivity and good leadership through everyone, not just my captains, that makes a big deal for everyone that doesn't know much about cheer, but the crowd needs to know that they do work hard. They get up early. Some days they might be mad at me, but that's part of being a coach.
Yeah,
you're not liked most days, but some days you're liked. But you have to. They're respected.
Yeah, and that said, you've kind of getting ready to go into your third full year. Mm-hmm. So, what are some of the goals for your cheer program going forward?
My ultimate goal is for my both varsity and JV squads to compete at game day. Right now, our squads are too small to do those things because you have to have a squad of like 18 to 20. So bringing back the skill level that it once was, requiring certain things now. Tumbling is a big thing. You have to require tumbling. So Kelly and I are slowly incorporating that back into everything. We have hired tumbling coaches. They actually come from OSU. So they come on Wednesdays, and the lower girls, like the JV girls, they have to participate in tumbling class because most of my varsity girls, they are in other competition squads, and so they do also do tumbling classes. But in the cheer world, if you haven't watched it, it's all about tumbling and stunts.
Yes.
And so we want to try to incorporate those as much as we can and be competitive. We want to compete.
Well, and you talk about the teachers you have coming in you talk about Oklahoma State students. That's a good resource down there because they have historically had a really good, and I think people don't understand, really good competitive cheer program.
Yes, their cheer program is phenomenal. I will say, even though I'm an OU fan, but I do my internship at OSU in athletics, so I do see a lot of the athletes, and so they are looked up to because they are phenomenal. And OU as well, they're getting more towards the competition side, so
yeah, and
they're fun to watch.
If you do get to that, and part of that's tryouts, you want as many girls as you can, and hopefully be a part of the squad. The competition part of it, that's in the fall, correct? Am I correct?
Usually competition, game day is, I believe, you have to go to regions, and then you have to go to state, and then you go to nationals if you make state. Okay. So there are multiple levels that you have to hit to be able to compete. But I don't want to steer that from anyone wanting to try out that doesn't have those skills, because we want everyone to try out if they want to. Whether you have tumbling or not, we still want those girls to try out because cheerleading is a great experience. It teaches you, accountability, teaches you respect for your peers and respect for your other people that are on top of you. But just to, as a whole, just be a great person and a great athlete.
Yeah.
So we want everyone to come try it, whether you're a male or a female.
Well,
I cheered with men.
Yeah. So get out there too, and we are seeing, a lot of the main programs that have a lot of success. They do have some guys. Yeah. They're out there. Then usually, I've seen that before. Yeah. There's some of those guys, and there's girls too, but there's some of those guys that can just tumble. Yeah. And you sit there and it's like, that's the most athletic person I've ever watched. And I've seen some girls like that do that too. And I've seen some athletes, but those guys and girls are some of the most athletic people I've ever seen.
They are. Oh, we went to Emma, one of our senior. You have to be a senior tryout for all-state cheer, and Emma actually made it. And there was several men that they were incredible. Their tumbling skills. I like tumbling. Tumbling's fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree.
They're all around, men, male and female. They are both talented. So they're fun to watch. Here's
a question. Can you teach me how to do a backflip?
We can try.
Can we have some
get some headgear?
Can we have
have
some EMTs there just in case I don't get all the way around? I can do it off the diving board, but it's a little bit different on the floor.
Yes, or trampoline. I can spot you. That's all we can do. Okay,
I like that.
I have a few other girls that can help spot too.
Sure, they get a kick out.
We can teach you.
They get a kick out.
Jump up.
They would get a kick out of watching me try to do that. So would my wife and probably my kid as well.
Let us know when you want to set that up.
The last thing for you, I know that you have girls, you don't want to necessarily, you want to talk about them all, but at the same time, I do want to, give you a little time to talk about, you've mentioned some of those seniors, but just those girls in general that really stood up and helped out and helped this program grow this year.
Yeah, some of my sophomores, Riley and Piper and Tootie, they all have been a big part in leadership. They've stepped in when my captains have been sick or they've had other academic things they have to handle. They've done a great job with leading the girls. I have 3 freshmen, so they've done a good job with leading them to trying to make better decisions and to try this versus this. So my 3 sophomores have been really well at that.
Well, that's
I
good.
look forward to them. And Takaya's my junior. She's done well as also.
Well, good deal. And I'm looking forward to seeing the growth of the program, hoping you can get to that level where you can compete
We'll get there.
here soon. And I think it's just really cool to see somebody that is a graduate of Ponca City back and was a part of that program, manning the helm there of the program now. So I think that's really cool.
And I have my junior high coach, Ashton. Ashton Graham. She was a cheerleader as well. She was an all-state cheerleader as well. So she's my junior high coach. So she's doing well.
That's good.
So
to
she's
hear.
a returner also. She's been in the program.
Yeah. Well, best of luck with tryouts going forward. Hope you get a lot of guys and girls out there to try out, and just look forward to seeing the continued growth and success of this cheer program.
Thank you. We look forward to it. We're excited for next year.
Well, that's Amie Huster. Appreciate her. And once again, the tryouts will be coming up. So where can they get more information on that?
They can email me, Kelly Bells, or Ashton Graham, or find us on social media or call the high school.
All right.
Happy to help any information.
Make sure you do that. All right, that's going to do it for this week's episode of our Coach's Corner. I want to say thank you for watching. And until next time, Jordan Woodruff saying, Go Cats.